Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, recently in this year 2022, the field of tourism have witnessed a great leap, and the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities have affirmed the raise of the number of tourists to 30% in comparison to the last year. And actually, the airports of Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada have witnessed also a number of flights with more than 15,000 tourists coming to Hurghada every week. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Mrs. Youmna Slama, member of the Arab Federation of Tour Guides. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Slama. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you so much. Well, Mrs. Slama, actually, recently the Hurghada and the Sharm el-Sheikh have witnessed a large number of tourists coming to visit them, and especially after Egypt have hosted the COP27, and also many touristic places here in Egypt have witnessed a great leap in the number of the tourists, as the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities have mentioned a rise by 30% for tourists coming to visit Egypt.
Yes, indeed. This was something that we are all proud of at the moment.
Yes. So, Mrs. Slama, how do you evaluate the steps and the initiatives that was launched by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities in order to attract tourism to Egypt?
Well, at the beginning, I would like to say that the past 2 years, although it was a very difficult time for here in Egypt, but I must give the credit to the political leadership and the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism, because they actually were working very hard during the COVID season, trying to develop many of the sites, using the chance that there were no many tourists at that time. As we all know, that traveling around the world was stopped for a while. So actually they seized the chance where we had less tourists, and they started to develop many of the archaeological sites. Unearthing was going to discover in many places, and we have witnessed in the past 2 years new discoveries, which put Egypt on the international media for the past 2 years. And that's one of the most important things that started to attract the tourists to come to Egypt when it all opened up again for tourism. That's one thing that we have to give the credit also to all the people working in the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism for restoring many places, and like we have witnessed, the restoration of many of the temples, the Jewish synagogues, the old churches, and the mosques as well. In addition to the launching of this campaign to enhance the events and the tourism of holding events in Egypt. We have all seen the COP27, as you mentioned. We've seen also the famous Christian Dior fashion event and other big names in fashion that chose Egypt to display their fashion and the new collection of the year at the Giza Plateau at the Grand Egyptian Museum. This is also something important, that such places that are not opened yet for tourists, they are used as venues for special events. So that again, of course, will attract the tourists to Egypt, and will attract also, we had more than 400 international channels covering the events that were held here in Egypt. So yes, please.
Yes, I thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. I thank you very much for your valuable information, Mrs. Youmna Slama, a member of the Arab Federation of the Tour Guides. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.